Now let's get some rapid-fire response from our panel on these stories tonight. The One Nation rally this weekend showed the true face of America. People of all different ages, races, and backgrounds. A big difference from what I saw at the Baxter's rally on August 28th. Alaska Tea Party nominee Joe Miller says the federal minimum wage is unconstitutional and should be scrapped. And according to the latest IRS data, more than 2,800 millionaires collect unemployment benefits at the height of the recession. Joining us tonight, Joe Madison, XM Satellite Radio talk show host, and Ron Christie, Republican strategist, with us tonight. Gentlemen, good to have you with us. Joe, you were fabulous on Saturday. I appreciate what you did for the One Nation rally. You gave a great talk, and I was encouraged coming away from it. How do you feel?
Well, it was a Neapolitan crowd. I just heard somebody say it was different than the Wonder Bread crowd. But, you know, that ice cream where you have chocolate, strawberry, vanilla, it wasn't just a sprinkling of different colors. It was a Neapolitan crowd. And these are the subscribers who now must go out and tell their neighbors, their workers, their friends that we've got to now turn out the vote. And I think that's exactly what you got. There was nothing but positive energy there. And Ed, like you, we met people who saw this show, who listened to our radio programs, and they came from, I mean, Washington State, California, the South. They were from Florida. They were from all over Vermont. It really, and I've been to these kinds of rallies before, but this is one of the largest. It now has to be more, though, let me say this quickly, than an event.
Yeah.
It has to be a movement, and that means that we've got to move forward, maybe make some sacrifices in the next 30 days or 20 days or so, and get people to the polls.
Ron Christie, give us your comparison of the two.
Well, for not having gone to the two rallies, I can't really give you a line-by-line differential between the two, other than, of course, there's some very interesting differences that we can see. For one, from the estimates that I've looked at from the National Park Service and from the Washington Post, you had several 100,000 people come out to the Glenn Beck rally. This one, by all accounts, looking at the Huffington Post and other outlets this morning, you had tens of thousands. So I don't think that the enthusiasm to get as many people out there was the same for the two rallies. What I would say,
Washington Post reported 175,000.
Well, again, 175,000. Again, it's in the tens of thousands rather than the hundreds of thousands.
Well, CBS News reported Beck's rally had 87,000.
Yeah, and I would also find that looking at the statistical sampling of the CBS News poll, from everything I've read about that, they dramatically undercounted it, and CBS News didn't use overhead lighter-than-air vehicles to record the number of people going out this weekend. But let me get on the
real... But they did it with aerial photos, which was... the CBS News commissioned a company to go up and take the pictures.
Only for the Glenn Beck rally, and they didn't do it for this one. And I would say also that the pictures that I've seen looking from the top of the monument, looking back, look, Ed, you and I can get into the semantics. I don't want to get into the who had X or who had Y.
You're the
what
one
I want to talk
the
about,
numbers. You're the one who said
I was the one who said, you asked my opinion, and I said the difference was from all thousands that went to the one this weekend as opposed to hundreds of thousands. But you're missing my main point.
I disagree with that, Ron. I'm not going to let you get away with that. There are reports of 175,000 people on 1 month's promotion. I'd say that's pretty good.
And there are reports also that there were 500,000 people who were there for the Glenn Beck
reporting. That wasn't no news agency put it at 500,000 for Beck.
I saw several that said it was in the hundreds of thousands. And do you want me to get to my real point?
No, wait a minute. Wait a second now.
I'm going to have to referee you two guys.
No, but what news? I'm being fair here. I'm being fair.
Yeah.
What news agency put it at 500,000, Ron?
I saw A, on Fox News, that it was 500,000. B, I saw on the Washington Post that it was hundreds of thousands, several hundreds of thousands. You can say 175. That does not beat several hundred thousand.
What is several? Is that 200,000 or 300,000?
Well, if they've got you beat by 200,000, 300,000, it's more than even giving you the benefit of the bet. But again, you want to talk numbers. I want to talk substance, because the thing that upsets me about this One Nation that we've talked about, your speech, Ed, you went out and you said conservatives, they're evil. Now, I don't think you think I'm evil. Oh, so I'm evil? I'm a conservative.
Do you want universal health care? I think it's evil to deny people health care.
No. So you think I'm evil? I think, again, that you and I can have philosophical policy differences.
I think it's evil to deny people health care benefits. I think it's evil to ship jobs overseas and not have answers. own economy.
Well,
I think it's evil to take a position on public education where they want to privatize it and gut it. I think those are evil policies, Ron.
I think it's evil, Ed, for individuals to say that we need to have a tax cut for middle-class Americans, and the Republicans are holding it hostage. Interesting how that the Democrats didn't have a bill that was introduced in the Congress. The Republicans did. Robert Gibbs was asked about this last week, and he said, oh, well, the Republicans are going to demagogue it, so we're not going to bring it up. Let's talk about the facts. Let's talk about the issues. The Speaker ran out like a coward this past week, didn't want to have a vote because she had 39 Democrats who would have voted to extend all the tax cuts. I think that's evil,
Ron,
going into an election to hold up a vote on the tax cuts. Let's just talk about the substance.
I'm imagining the filibusters. Joe, you want to respond?
No, but again, let me just say last one. So
no, I'm going to give Joe a chance to talk. Hold on, Ron. Go ahead, Joe.
Thank you. First of all, Ron wasn't at, as he said, either march. I don't think Ron's ever been to a major march, so he doesn't. I didn't interrupt you. You haven't been. You weren't there, so and the two of us were. So you're not speaking from a position of knowing exactly what was going on. You're speaking from a position of reports. Number two, I'll tell you what's evil. To read in Bloomberg News that if they take over the Congress, they're going to cut $100 billion from the budget, which means that they will cut money for education, Pell Grants for low-income students. 2, cancer research. I am a cancer survivor, damn it. And I tell you, the reason I'm surviving is because the government helped with research, Ron. And 3, they plan to cut funding for firemen and police officers. So if that building you're in right now went up in flames or somebody took it over, guess who would run in?
And
policemen and firemen.
The Democrats took $500 billion out of
excuse me.
You guys took $500 billion out of Medicare. That is evil.
Interrupt you.
That's evil.
You're
stealing it from the seniors. Way to go. Nice to take it from the seniors.